Hey guys, how we doing? My name is Sarah Bierman. I am a market mentor with MONAT, and I have been using these products for about a year and a half now on myself and at my salon, and have been having amazing results from everything to straight hair to curly hair to fine to thick and for regrowth options. So today I'm just going to touch base a little bit on some ways to style and diffuse curly hair and what products might work for you. So I just jumped out of the shower. So I prepped my hair with that today, and I'm kind of going to go over a couple different products and some that I absolutely love when I style my hair curly. So I just jumped out. I haven't done anything. I haven't really toweled it off or anything. It's a little crazy here. So I'm just going to I don't like to comb my hair. I don't have an extremely strong curl, so I like to just kind of shake it out a little bit before I apply the products. So one of my favorite cocktails for doing curly hair is going to be our Restore Leave-In Conditioner. I like to take about 2 pumps of that, so just 2 pumps. Again, this line is super concentrated, so you definitely don't need to use as much as you may have been using in a previous line because a little goes a long way. My next step, our infamous Rejuvenique oil. This is going to help add vitamins, protein, beta-carotene, essential nutrients right into my little mixture here, and just added that right to it. And I'm just gonna really emulsify that in the hands. It's really good to make sure that you're working the product together. Now, biggest thing when applying products is never palm your hair. A lot of times this is how we get too much product in one area. So I always say start with fingertips, okay? So I'm gonna just kind of fingertip through the top here. And when my fingers get a little bit like clean, you know, the product is gone, I'm gonna work back into my palms almost like a reservoir, and then I'm gonna run the rest of that through my ends, okay? So I'm just working that in, making sure I get that all over. Now, some people can comb their hair, and when they're wearing it curly, they can still comb it. Mine tends to get a little bit more limp, so I'm not. But if you can comb it, you can still get a great curl. Go ahead and do that. That's just gonna help kind of make sure that you have the product all over. The next one that I absolutely love is our taffy. So here's our taffy here. Now, I typically like to style my hair on the first day when I'm going curly with lots of definition. And the reason I like to do that is because then I can wear my hair almost 5 days without having to wash again. So I like to use a little bit of our taffy. So the taffy is great because it gives me lots of definition and lots of hold from some of my lazy curls. So I'm gonna use about a fingertip full, put that right in my palm, and I'm going to add 1 more squirt of our leave-in conditioner. So this is one of my cocktails that I really like to use. It just softens the taffy a little bit, gives me a little bit more pliability, and then also gives me a little bit more of that moisturizing aspect as well. So again, I'm gonna work through and emulsify this really, really good. I'm gonna start at the scalp and just my fingertips. So I'm gonna work in a little bit so I can get some body in there as I blow dry. Then I'm gonna work back into my hands, again, applying with the fingertips, kind of grabbing at the hair without palming it, because you don't want to get too much product in one area. Okay, so I'm just kind of clawing the hair here. And then this side here. And now that most of the product is worked off, I'm going to go back in, and then I'm going to come in and just kind of scrunch the rest of it in here. All right, now one way that you can get a little bit more of a defined curl is to actually tousle your hair. So tousling is quite easy. You actually just kind of come in here and pick up some curly pieces and twist them with your fingers. So then as those dry, those pieces are gonna be a little bit more separated, because if any of you curly girls know, if we over dry our hair sometimes and diffuse it, we end up into a giant poof ball, right? So by taking some of these pieces and just tousling them, we're creating a little bit more definition within our curl pattern. So again, I'm just grabbing some pieces here. I have pretty lazy curl around the front, so I'm gonna grab some right up front in the bang section here and underneath. All right, now go to this side. Tousle a few pieces this way. All right, so now I'm gonna show you guys my trick to cutting down your diffusing time, but also keeping your curls nice and curly, okay? So I want you to go and grab a t-shirt, okay? I just stole one of my husband's t-shirts and I tend to do this quite frequently. So you're gonna grab a t-shirt and you're gonna use the hole where your head would go and you're gonna plop this on, okay? So I'm gonna tip over and I'm gonna just put this right over my head here. Okay, so I've got all the hair coming up top here, okay? So now I'm going to take the two ends and I'm going to roll them up just like this, and I'm pulling away from the face, creating a little bit of basically, so this dries with a little bit of height in it. I'm going to take these two ends and I'm going to either tie it if I have enough, or I'll use a hair tie. Now, what does the towel do? Well, the towel is great because it actually is going to help take out a lot of that extra moisture before you blow dry. So by taking out a lot of that extra moisture, it's going to actually cut our dry time in half. So I like to use cotton towel versus a regular towel because you have to think of our hair as like a fabric, okay? So if our hair is like silk and we take something really, really rough and we rub it against, we're gonna really mess up that silk and the softness that that natural fabric has. So same with our hair. If we take a towel with lots of little fuzzies on it and we're really just working it or we're tying up, we're actually gonna cause more friction, which then causes more frizz. So I love to use a cotton towel. It's very, very soft. It helps absorb moisture quick. And then this is going to help me cut down on my blow dry time. Now, the reason that I like to wrap it is I like to go with the curl so that as it dries, I'm not just twisting it up like a ice cream cone, because that's actually extending my hair and that's causing it to be a little, more straight. So by doing this, I'm actually adding even in a curl pattern as I roll it. So this works really well for me. So definitely try it at home and let me know what you think. So I'm going to give this about 10 minutes. I'm going to do my makeup and I'm going to jump back on and show you how to finish. All right guys, I'm back. All right, so I just spent about 10 minutes just kind of finishing, doing some makeup, so forth. So I like to spend about 10 minutes letting my hair just kind of absorb some of that moisture into this t-shirt. So I'm going to undo this now, and I had put a hair tie in, so let me just take that out. All right, now we're going to unroll it. And I'm just going to scrunch one or two more times just to get any extra moisture out. Okay, so you can see how it's not dripping wet anymore. I've got a little bit more texture going on here. So what I'm gonna do now is I like to add in a little bit of root lift because I love volume. So I like to add my root lifter after I get most of the moisture out because I feel like it works a little bit better for me. You can do it before or after. I just tend to like to add it as my hair is, starting to kind of dry, or even after it's already dry, you can add some in and then like re-round brush if you're just trying to get some volume, or re-diffuse, and it works really, really well. So root lifter here, I'm gonna shake really good because it is loaded with all those wonderful oils, and I'm gonna spray it right in at the base there, just kind of picking up some sections. I like it right in the front here. And then a little bit in the back. All right, so now I'm just gonna kind of work that in at the scalp. Get a little bit of that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is gonna give you a couple little tips about diffusing your hair, and then I will kind of go through the blow drying quickly so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and then we'll kind of chat at the end and see if you guys have any questions. So one thing with the blow dryer is using a diffuser. This is great because it helps diffuse the air so you're not getting such a high force at once, and it helps to, again, maintain not getting that frizz, and then also helping kind of pick up that curl a bit. So one thing I like to tell people is our hair is like, think of our hair and our roots of our hair as like roots to a tree, okay? So this is our tree, here are our roots. Now if our roots aren't strong, it can't support the rest of this. So I always like to say when you're diffusing, make sure that you're blow drying and concentrating on the root area or closest to the scalp area, because that's what's gonna help keep that volume in and stabilize and hold the rest of this up for a long lasting curl and look, okay? So when you start diffusing, make sure that you're on low to medium heat, especially when you're a MONAT user. You need to turn those hot tools down because our hair doesn't need nearly as much heat anymore now that we've removed those toxins and buildup and silicones and things off of our hair. So very, very important, even when it comes to flat irons and curling irons. Next, you want to make sure that your speed is on a low to medium speed. The higher the speed, the higher and the more the frizz. So keep that speed down. So what you want to do is you want to actually place the diffuser at the base. I'm not working on the ends, placing it right in at the base, and that's where I'm going to dry first. Once I get the base dry throughout the whole, throughout my whole head, then I will concentrate on the ends. Now, I like to get a lot of lift here, so a lot of times I'll start right in the front, lifting this up and holding this in and drying that base area really, really good before I start to move around. Now, one thing a lot of people do is they put the diffuser in and then they move and they move and they move and they move and their curl is limp and it takes forever. Okay, well here's the reason. So think of when you're using like hot rollers, right? We put a hot roller in and we let it sit there till it cools. So what's happening as that's cooling is the hair is taking the shape of that hot roller. So as it cools, it molds and shapes into whatever it's around. Now, if we're bebopping all around our head here, we're not giving any time for one area to fully dry and cool. So it's really important that you actually put the diffuser in and really dry that area really, really well before you move on to the next. So I'll show you a little bit here and then I'll touch back with you when I'm almost done here. So as you can see, I'm at the base, working on just the base, not the ends, and I'm leaving it in one position to give it time to dry that area fully before I move to the next section. Okay guys, so I just finished doing all the base area, so you can see this stuff is drying out here and I've got lots of volume coming in there. So I'm just gonna finish up with the end. So I'm gonna turn my heat down to low because I don't wanna create any extra frizz again. And we'll do a low speed and we're just gonna kind of set the hair in and pick it up, and you can always put it in with your hand too. Now if you want it really, 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 really tight and curly and that's how your hair styles, you can bring this up more because again, the more that curl is curled and it dries that way, it's going to stay that way. Now I like mine a little bit looser, so I like to sometimes come up and then kind of release. So it has a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more of like a natural beachy type texture. So again, I'm just working on the ends here, still staying in one spot before I move to the next. Okay guys, so I just finished up drying the ends here, so you can see, look how curly that is. Now all that texture again, the taffy gives it nice definition. Now most people would say, oh, is that crunchy? Does it, does it feel crunchy like a gel? No, it's actually super, super, super soft, but it gives me that nice definition, and I take my time, which is really, really important when you're styling your hair and you want to be able to extend the longevity of how long you can wear it before washing again. Take the time your first time, add the products, do the work. I know it sucks sometimes, but this now will last me about 3 to 5 days that I'll be able to rock this hair, whether I wear it half up, down, up, anything I want to do with it. This curl is going to last me even through sleeping on it. So now you can see some of those pieces where I tousle them, see how they get their own little extra definition to them. So that works really well. So I don't do a lot to finish it off because I think it looks fabulous already. But sometimes what I will do is take a little bit of our tousled texture mist. I do 3 squirts and 2 drops of oil. And I like to work that in together and just slightly scrunch the ends. Now I am palming this because I don't have a lot of product in my hair, and what I'm doing is just trying to get a little bit of moisture and a little bit of texture on those ends. Okay guys, so this is how you diffuse hair with lots of volume. So you can see how that root lifter helped give me a lot of volume up through here. Tousling gave me all these awesome curl patterns down here, and the taffy gave me that nice textured look. So, all right guys, if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment below. Otherwise, I hope this helped you in kind of learning a little bit about curly hair products and how to diffuse properly to get the best curl. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.